Hello and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Olewide. First, the headlines. Buhari apologizes to Nigerians over fuel scarcity, power outage. New Peng raises alarm as cooking gas price rises again. Nigeria is losing 95% of crude oil production to thieves, Elumelu. And now, the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday apologized to Nigerians over the prolonged fuel scarcity and frequent power outages being experienced across the country, saying the shortage of petroleum products was something his government has successfully averted in its 7 years in office. Minister of Power Abubakar Aliyu also yesterday likened the worsening power situation across the country to a war situation, but Aliyu assured that the federal government was doing everything possible to resolve the situation. As part of emergency measures put in place following a meeting convened with key stakeholders to address the low power generation in the country, the main challenge was identified as being one of low gas power generation as a result of sabotage of gas pipelines leading to shutdown of power plants, coupled with ongoing routine maintenance on the other gas power plants, the president said. He assured that government's attention to these problems will bear fruit soon. He said his administration knew that the fuel shortage had placed a strain on citizens and businesses and gave an assurance that relief was on the way. The Liquefied Petroleum Gas Retailers branch of the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers on Wednesday raised the alarm over the recent rise in the price of liquefied petroleum gas, popularly called cooking gas. It said the cost of the commodity had been on the increase in the last 2 weeks and urged the government to intervene considering the current energy crisis in Nigeria as seen in the drop of power supply and petrol scarcity. The New Peg LPG Retailers branch chairman Chika Umudu said the branch union decries the return of LPG price rise, which has led to an increment of up to 1,000 naira for 12.5 kg size within the last 2 weeks throughout the country. Umudu, who disclosed this in a statement, stated that the worrisome aspect of this development was that it had continued to rise on daily basis for weeks now, but began to escalate in the last 1 week, leading to significant increases in both depots and retail outlets. The chairman of UBA Banking Group, Tony Elumelu, has attributed Nigeria's inability to meet its crude oil production quota and benefit from high oil prices to crude oil theft. Elumelu disclosed this in a series of tweets earlier today, bemoaning pressing issues that Nigerians face every day, from electricity to fuel. He said by 2023, Nigeria should be on a strong trajectory for progress and development, adding that he has been listening to colleagues at his office bemoan the very pressing issue that they face every day in the country and how things have been getting worse, resulting in no electricity for 5 days, hikes in the price of diesel, frightening food inflation, amongst others. He said businesses are suffering and Nigeria is losing 95% of oil production to oil thieves, citing the Bonny terminal oil theft that should be receiving over 200,000 barrels of crude oil daily. Regrettably, it receives less than 3,000 barrels. Ugandan environmental activists have hit out at a mega oil project by Total Energies in East Africa. The 4 leading youth activists were received by the French National Assembly on Wednesday to pressure the government to take a stance on the project. Vanessa Nakate, nicknamed the Africa Greta Thunberg, was among them. Nakate is a Ugandan climate activist and author of the book A Bigger Picture. She told newsmen that she had come to France to ask the government to make it clear its position on the East African crude oil pipeline EACOP. The EACOP, which is currently under construction, is also known as the Uganda-Tanzania crude oil pipeline. Its purpose is to transport crude oil from Uganda's oil fields to the port of Tanga, Tanzania, on the Indian Ocean. Once completed, the pipeline will be the longest heated crude oil pipeline in the world. I have come to ask the French government to stand with us, to stand with the people and with the planet, to make a decision about whether they are in support of the EACOP project in my country or not, Nakate said. Revised plans to expand an oil and gas drilling site in East Yorkshire have been approved. Valuechain Energy had wanted to add 6 more wells to its site near West Newton in East Yorkshire, but its application was turned down in September last year. However, East Riding councillors have now voted in favour of a smaller proposal with only 4 oil wells. The move was opposed by other local councillors who urged the authority to reconsider the proposal. Officials said while they were aware there was still strong opposition to the development, Valuechain Energy had listened to residents and addressed their concerns. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce has blamed Nigeria's poor infrastructure for the country's inability to take advantage of the global energy supply shortfall caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. According to a statement by the LCCI, Nigeria should have been a major harvester of opportunities from the war between Russia and Ukraine in areas like gas supplies to Europe, but unfortunately, we do not have the infrastructure in place to produce enough gas for supply to Europe. The chamber said Nigeria would have been in a position to supply oil and gas to countries rejecting Russian oil and gas due to the sanctions imposed on the Eastern European country for invading Ukraine. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Buhari apologizes to Nigerians over fuel scarcity, power outage. New peg raises alarm as cooking gas price rises again. Nigeria is losing 95% of crude oil production to oil thieves. Elumelu. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.